And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. If you all are new to us on the Amazon Live platform, we do welcome you. Have a lot of exciting programming coming up for you guys on the Amazon side as we're gearing up for Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and of course, Cyber Monday. So make sure you guys, if you have not done so already, make sure you guys give us a follow on the Amazon side. You'll see the follow button here in this corner or down below, but you will also see the books by my next guest. I'm so excited to welcome back my friend Tina Siemens to our broadcast today. I first was introduced to Tina through this book you guys see here, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. I have it highlighted in the carousel for you guys, but she's also shared her own story in this book, The Little Sandals That Could. Now, both books are available here on Amazon. We're going to also let you guys know about the exciting things that Tina's been up to, starting her own museum, sharing history there. We're going to talk to her about that, and also let you all know how to stay connected with her. Tina, my friend, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Cyrus, and I appreciate the opportunity. It's always good to be on with you.
Look, it's a pleasure, and I know you've been very busy, so we haven't had a live chat like this in a while. We've been kind of messaging online through Facebook, but it's great to be able to see you again and to be able to have a conversation about these books. I want to talk about this year because, I mean, you've had quite a busy 2023, Tina. So I know it's hard because it's hard for me to do it. So I know it's hard to kind of step back sometime to kind of think about everything. But what has it been like for you to reflect on this year and all you've been able to do?
The word amazing is just, it doesn't even cover half of it, because I'm in awe of all the opportunities that came my way, and then for me to be able to act upon those. So half of the opportunity is you taking it. So if the opportunity presents itself, then for you to take it, everyone has opportunities, but for me to have been able to act on those opportunities has just been a very satisfactory year.
Yeah. Well, we know you, Tina. We've gotten to know you, of course, through your books. But I want our audience to know Tina is not just an author. She also is the person who founded what you see on your screen, the West Texas Living Heritage Museum. So once again, congratulations to you, Tina, on the success already of the West Texas Living Heritage Museum. I want to talk about that experience because history is something that you love very much. But what has it been like for you through the museum to be able to share history as well?
Well, it's been such a journey. I have dreamt of opening up a museum, but I always thought it would be as a partnership with a museum that we already have. But because we're so landlocked at that location, I had kept on wanting to do a museum, but the thought of me opening up a second location in a small West Texas town was just a brand new thought, even for myself at the beginning of this year. And so when that opportunity opened itself, I went full steam ahead, both feet in the water. And I got out boxes and containers and storage houses that I had gathered stuff for a museum for 20 years. So it kind of goes all back together with the book Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. My love for history is not just in reading it on pages, but actually doing it. And so hence the word living in the museum's title. And so for me to be able to open up a physical location, which was my former home and / office, which we had moved out of last October. So it opened up 6,000 square feet. And I just like sometimes you pray about something and the answers already, you have the answers already. I've
Yeah.
been always praying for that physical space to open up the museum. And then when I prayed about it, then that building was like right in my face. And
Yeah.
when God showed me that, I just said, okay, thank you. Now it's feet boots on the ground, and that's what
Yeah.
happened. So I opened it in June.
Love that. And we're going to let our audience know, remind them how they can be able to find out more information about it. And I love the fact that I haven't been to it myself, Tina, but thanks to your post online, we've been able to kind of get a feel of not only what's in it, but the activity. I want to talk about that because it's one thing to create something, right? It's another thing to see people come inside of your vision. And you've been able to see that. I mean, what has that felt like to not only to have seen the museum open this year, but also to see the way people are coming inside of it and being a part of it.
Well, when I welcome people through the front door, which is happening more and more where I'll have guided tours,
Mhm.
and when they just stand in the entrance of a certain room, and you'll have to understand the background of the Mennonite culture and the West Texas culture, and then the Comanche Native Indian culture, which are all represented in the museum. I will have different people come through the door, and immediately it takes them back to a childhood memory or a previous time in their life. And that is so satisfactory because then I know that the way I have it set up is authentically what that certain culture remembers. And
Yeah.
so when they then stand there and their stories start just rolling off of their memory, it's so satisfactory.
Yeah. And this love of history is something that has been with you all of your life, Tina, and it's something that you shared with us. Going back to the first book again, as I mentioned, that we were introduced to, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. For audience that have not gotten it for yourselves, now is a great opportunity. I love the fact that it's available, of course, in print, but you can also get the Kindle edition to go ahead and start reading it. But I love the fact that with this book, Tina, you introduce us to your family, and we're able to see the resilience there, the passion they have, but also the faith. And just as the subtitle says, some people never give up. We're able to see how they've been able to thrive even in spite of very trying circumstances. How has that helped you and what you've been doing now to know that you come from a family that is all about surviving and thriving?
It is absolutely vital for me to know that I have that background. And because not only having the background of physical stories that I've read in archives and things, but for me to have that subtitle on my book,
Hmm.
you have no idea how many times it that alone has pushed me forward, even though I felt like I'm tired or I just want to postpone it for another week or so.
Yeah.
But that title gives me the strength to, okay, I'm part of this lineage of resilience, of perseverance, of just not giving up. And it's just such a gift to be able to have that kind of like the carrot in front of you that just
Yeah.
keeps me motivated to go forward.
Right. Hello to you, Leisha. Good to be able to see you. She's joining us on Facebook there from Georgia, and that brings up a great point, Tina, because again, the museum and yourself are located in Texas, but thanks to social media, you've been able to literally meet people around the world, connect with people around the world. You and I have never met each other in person, but thanks to social media, we've been able to stay connected. Talk to us about that. What has that been like for you? Because I know that's something you've talked about publicly can be a challenge, but what has it been like for you to embrace that challenge and to see the benefits that have come from it?
Well, first of all, like last night, I gave a speech to the First Baptist Church audience who invited us for that very first Thanksgiving where we didn't know any English. I
Mm,
came to Texas as an 8 year old speaking Low German dialect only.
mm,
And so learning the new language and then being able to progress all through these years, making all these amazing friends, and then through the book, having my book being read literally around the globe and getting emails saying thank you for writing this. I so enjoyed the story. It is just such a blessing to be able to connect via social media.
yeah.
and it's a pathway, interstate, that just accelerates whatever you do.
Yeah, such a great point. And I know it is not always used for the best of things, but I think the way that Tina uses it, the way I strive to use it, I think really shows the benefits of it. You mentioned, of course, coming to this country 8 years old, we're able to get more of an idea of Tina's story in this book, which is The Little Sandals That Could, Tina. Tina, I want to talk to you about that because, you and I have talked about this before. I mean, even though it's a book that young readers can enjoy, it's a great book for adults as well. Talk to us about looking at that little girl that's on the cover there and thinking about her journey to where she started and where she is now. How has that been able to inspire you?
Well, if transformation is a thing, that's that little girl. For
Yeah.
me to have come from that very conservative background to now speaking on stages and giving my story, all the way to, which brings me to the thought and asking the audience for prayers. Uh, President Jimmy Carter, who was vital in us becoming U.S. citizen by signing that special bill. Miss Rosalind Carter passed away yesterday. So
Yeah.
for me to have gone from the little girl on that cover, shy, just speaking Low German, to meeting the former president of the United States, that's a large step in the right direction. And
Mhm.
so I'm just honored to have been able to have the opportunities that this land of opportunities has allotted me and my family and so many others, because we are a melting pot of immigrants. And
Right.
for us to be able to use that platform and stay true to our culture, but then to become Americans by adapting and just becoming part of the American dream
Yeah.
is my journey. And I'm
Yeah.
just so grateful.
Yeah. Jacqueline Cox is joining us on Facebook. Hello to you, Jacqueline. Good to be able to see you as well. And I think that's it. And I'm so glad you mentioned that. I think about, and I've had several moments this year, Tina, that I thought about also where I began and where I am now. And I think about my grandmother and how before she died, she told me she never thought that I would be able to do half of the things that I've been able to do. And I think, as you mentioned, as you even talk about on the back of this book, it's so funny you saying that. You even say on the back of the book, you'll learn a lot about her life, her family, and the journey that brought her to America. Tina even got to meet the president. And I think it really does show you what is possible. A big part of this book, even The Little Sandals That Could, Tina, one of the things that I appreciate about it so much is the fact that you remind us that regardless of how other people see you, right? Because even in the book, you talk about young Tina, right? How she was picked on, how of course looking at what the other kids have, not having that, how people would try to make you feel. What has it been like for you to encourage other people, especially young children, to know that it doesn't matter what people say? It really is about who you are and what you believe about yourself.
That is very, very important part of my speaking. When I have a child in front of me, then
Mhm.
that is something that I will strive to make a point, make them seen and heard, make them
Yeah.
feel like they are a part. Because that's what I told the audience at the First Baptist Church yesterday. I was 8 years old, and the impact that they made by just inviting my family to a Thanksgiving dinner, something
Mhm.
that we had never experienced before,
Mhm.
where we could not really understand a word they were saying, but
Mhm.
the actions. And so,
Yeah.
what we do to a child, we may not know for years the impact that you and I have on a younger mind. But somebody that is as curious as little Tina was, things really impacted my life as a young
Yeah.
age. And for me to be able to now, those seeds that were sown, they are being harvested right now, and I can
Yeah.
now give that to others, and that's a joy beyond what money can buy.
Such a great point. Hello to you, Dr. Velma. Good to be able to see you. She's joining us from the West Coast today, Tina, as well. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, even on the Amazon side, welcome. You all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, but we are simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter today. We have my friend Tina Siemens back with us today. Tina's had quite the year this year. She not only, of course, is the author of two books, Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. You guys see it there. Also, of course, The Little Sandals That Could. Tina also, of course, is the founder of a museum that you all can be able to visit in Texas as well. I'm going to remind you guys about that. And, of course, let you guys know how to stay connected with her. And the other great thing about you, Tina, and your family is that you've been able to not only, of course, to share your own history with the world, but also with your own family. One thing I love about this book is that you really have made it a family affair. One of my favorite pictures is this one with your grandson Hudson.
Oh,
I love that picture in there of you all sewing. Talk to us about that. What it's been like for them to see their grandma not only, of course, write books, but now be able to open a museum.
well, they are absolutely proud. Briley on the left-hand side, you're right.
Mhm.
She told me yesterday that she had told her cousin that I met the president of the United States, and he said, no, that's not possible. And I took my granddaughters back in 2019 to visit Georgia, Plains, Georgia, to meet President Carter and Mrs. Rosalind Carter. And
Wow.
so for me to be able to bring my grandchildren and let them experience, let them be part of it. So I'll take them on tours with me in the museum and allow them to take the kids off into a different room and let them start sharing what they have heard me say. And so just to immerse them and to uh, get them ready for to share what they can when they get older
Yeah.
from our history. And so I just absolutely love taking my grandchildren and doing my life with them together.
Yeah. You know, history, it's so interesting, Tina, and this has been a confusing thing for me. I tell people I'm a very simple person, but I don't understand how history has become bad.
Mm.
I don't understand that myself. I mean, I think history is so important for us. Not only, of course, I wish. I mean, I have learned a lot, but I would definitely would love to know more, and not just about my own family and our own history and our culture, but also like I've been able to learn about your family and your culture, and being able to see your beginnings and others. What has it been like for you to share with people the importance of history? Because even as you mentioned, and I want to go ahead and show it again for our audience here. When it comes to the museum, I mean, literally right in the title there, of the museum is West Texas Living Heritage Museum. So it really shows the importance of that history. What has it been like for you to share with people, Tina, about the importance of history?
Well, I think the more we learn about other cultures, then the differences just seem to melt away because there's so many more similarities in all of our histories. We
Yeah.
all come from two sets of parents and four sets of grandparents and eight sets of great grandparents. We all have that same diagram of who we come from. And it took all of that, all those generations, like in my genealogy, I've gone back to the 13th generation. My grandbabies
Oh,
are the
wow.
13th generation on my father's side. And so when you see these names in a genealogy, or you might have an old family Bible that somebody took the time to write the genealogy down, that is living people that you carry their DNA. And so
Mhm.
that is living history. And when you start learning that history, when you get key little snippets of stories that my great great grandfather, for example, he had burned some shaft. This was back in Canada in the late 1800s, and he made a small fire, burnt some shaft, and wind picked up those little embers and carried it 150 miles, burnt every farm. It cost livestock, it cost lives, it cost property. He never truly overcame that tragedy, but he sold everything he had and divided that among those 150 miles of destruction. It
Yeah.
was it was measly uh, dollars toward what each family had lost, but he did what he could to make the wrong right. And so then when now I read his name in my genealogy, that's the story that I go to. He did not give up, but he gave everything that he had to make right. So that is the importance of us knowing our history, is connecting their stories, how that is still impacting mine and your life.
Yeah, such a great point. When you said that, I thought about what I remember from The Little Settlers That Could. Not only does Tina share her story, but she allows you to be able to do exactly what she was talking about, to be able to put your own genealogy in the book herself. She also has coloring pages in here. We've never talked about the coloring pages before, Tina, but Tina also puts for you. You can see there. Let's do it this way. my
Yeah.
my mom's family tree, my dad's family tree. So there you're able to be a part of Tina's book. So again, she does share pictures, of course, from her own family, but she allows you to be a part of it too. And in the very back of the book, there are these coloring pages that you can be able to color as well. And of course, we adults, we love to color as well, so we can be able to take advantage of that too. Tina, I've been asking people a question. We don't script this show, but I've been asking people a question because I think it's so important for us to do this more. Have you been able to tell yourself this year that you are proud of you?
That is a little hard for me because we grew up not being taught that is something that I do. Like me growing up, that if I would have said, "Oh, I did great," or that would have meant that I was prideful. And so for me, I'm learning how to do that.
Yeah.
But I know that I have had an amazing year. Like for one individual, my friends say that they're tired just looking at my post, and like I don't post as much as I would like to, or as
Yeah.
I should probably, to get the algorithm going. But they say that they're tired just by seeing my post.
Yeah.
And so I am grateful. I am so
Yeah.
proud of the opportunities that I've been able to partake of.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it too. I used to be horrible at it, but I do understand the importance of it because I think what happens, Tina, honestly, we don't give ourselves enough credit for what we achieve. A lot of times we don't achieve the big things, right? And so we think, oh, I didn't do anything. But there were small steps that we did take that we still need to celebrate, I think. And I hope our audience appreciates that for themselves, that maybe you didn't achieve the big thing you wanted to so far this year, but give yourself credit for what you did do. I think that is such an important thing. So, Tina, we mentioned you have the two books. I know the last time you were on with us on Amazon, you talked about, I know you're working on another book, but what is next for you? What are you excited about next?
Well, I'm working on a 4-day event at the museum next May,
Okay.
bringing a country artist that hasn't been to Seminole before. He was born here, but he hasn't ever been back for a concert. So I'm working on a 4-day event where we'll do homesteading classes like we did this past October. And so that is a huge event that I'm currently coordinating. And then, of course, like you said, writing my next book. And with the love of my history, I am making connections. And that's another thing that's bigger than life itself, the connections that I've made with the Comanche Nation. The world is fascinated with Chief Quanah Parker. He's well known throughout the world as the last chief of the Comanche Nation. Well, I found out this year through genealogy that my third cousin, 3 times removed, was the very first missionary to the Comanche Nation in Oklahoma. And I have now been able to connect with the great grandchildren of Chief Quanah Parker, who to this day call themselves Mennonites on account of what my cousin did, dedicating his life as a missionary to those. So that will be a huge part of the book that I'm writing next, is the capture of Cynthia Ann Parker. She was a white 9-year-old girl that was captured by the Comanche Nation, and then grew up and became the wife of the chief, who then bore Chief Quanah Parker. So it's a fascinating story, especially in Texas and Oklahoma. And for me to make that personal connection, I literally fell off the chair when I found out that first missionary was my blood relative.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
so that has just opened up massive amount of new data, new connections, new family connections that I've been able to make. So exciting things are happening in this 2024 upcoming year.
Looking forward to that. Tina, it is great to catch back up with you. I know you've been busy. It's been great, though. Of course, we've been having our regular conversations through social media, but it's great to have this real time conversation with you. I want to say for our audience, make sure you guys do pick up. I'm going to go ahead and highlight them again. Tina's 2 books. The first one is Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. You guys can see it there. And then I'm going to go ahead and highlight her second book here, which is The Little Sandals That Could, where she shares her own personal story as well. Both of those are available there on Amazon. Make sure you take advantage of that. And also make sure you guys are following. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys again. Follow the museum on Facebook as well, so you can stay connected with everything going on with that. Again, the West Texas Living Heritage Museum. You can find it just by searching that on Facebook. West Texas Living Heritage Museum. There you'll be able to find it. We'll make sure that we link it up for you guys as well. Tina, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Anyway, through the social media, whether it's through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, they can email me at k.siemens@yahoo.com or Seminole the book at gmail.com. And then, of course, the West Texas Living Heritage Museum, which is the West Texas Living Heritage Museum at gmail.com. So please stay connected. I would love to hear from you.
All right. Well, Tina, great talking again. Looking forward to our next conversation together, okay?
Thank you so much, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you, Tina. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, also streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. Glad you all could be with us. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care.